You're listening to Prep Insider Radio with your hosts, Tommy Morris.
Good. This is nothing to do with Sage Creek baseball. I'm sorry, but have you seen a series of Fortunate Events?
Christian Pedersen.
I mean, I'm out here grinding. I'm putting in hours. I'm getting there at 5 a.m. to cheer on the water polo team at practice. I'm showing up to our basketball team. I'm showing up to our football games. We don't even have a football team, and I'm supporting that.
Noah Laxina.
And Noah Laxina's number 3 tip for Valentine's Day is...
Chill, man. Things are going to be all right.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to force it. Let it happen. You're going to be all right.
And Bodie De Silva from Scorebook Live.
I mean, he brought basketball into that one. I got to give him 9 out of 10. I like that.
What's happening, everybody? Christian Pedersen here. Tommy Morris is on the line with us as well, as is Colton Toll, our intern. He has returned from school-related things happening in his life the last couple of weeks to be able to be on with us now. Tommy, say what's up.
How we doing?
There we go. Colton, you want to say hi for everybody so people get to know your voice a little bit more?
What's up, everybody?
All right, so I want to start by saying we're going to talk a little bit of football at the end of this, but before that, we want to talk some signing day. Just kind of want to let everybody know the scope of, you know, what exactly happened this week, and that was National Letter of Intent Day. Tommy and I were down at the San Diego Sports Association event that was held at Petco Park's Lexus parking lot. Huge thanks to the San Diego Sports Association.
Which is hosted by an amazing man, by the way.
Yeah, me getting to MC that one was woof. Paul Rudy, I feel you, man.
No, you did a good job. Hey, it is tough when you're up there and you see a name for the first time and you're on the spot in front of their parents. That's tough.
Here, my two ones that I vividly remember though was I butchered the names of schools, and I said, and you can roll tape on this, I said Sage Creek University and Cathedral Catholic University.
Well, Cathedral Catholic is a university.
Yeah. That's the exact same thing that a couple of different people said when I told them they said that. That was really funny. I don't know if I want to put that on the poll or not. We do run polls at SD Prep Insider, but maybe this one just stays only on this show. Yes or no, is Cathedral Catholic just a de facto university? But 200 kids from across the San Diego section attend at the Lexus lot to give a moment of celebration for them. But there was probably another, and the numbers are not right in front of me right now, but there had to have been another 100 almost around the rest of the county who were doing stuff respectively at their schools. I mean, Tommy, it was pretty amazing that isn't even everything right now, because we still have football to go in all of that. And we're already a county that has nearly 300 seniors committed to play different levels of college sports. What's your reaction to that?
First of all, you forgot the ultimate flex. I'll tell it to you because I know you're proud of it. There are some kids who came there from Orange County to participate because they don't have anything like that up there.
Yeah, that's a weird flex. I don't even know if that's something that I'm proud of, but yeah, sure, deal. Thank you to the San Diego soccer player girls for having friends that want to drive all the way down here for these events.
The event was so cool that people came like from over an hour away just to be a part of it. So I think that is commendable. Bring your first question. What was the question?
The question was just, what's your general reaction to, you know, we're sitting here without even the football players committed, and we have 300 seniors who are on to play at the next level already.
Yeah, I was there taking pictures of all the kids that they went through, and like, first of all, it made me feel like a terrible athlete. Second of all, that line like never ended. There were so many kids, and the way it was set up, everyone was spread apart, so they go on one at a time. And every time I thought we were going to be like out of kids who were committed, I turned it around and I saw like the line just never ended. It was like this long snail trail of kids 6 feet away. So it was cool to see all these kids, and it's one of those things too. Like you'll when you're watching TV or whatever, it's always nice to see a kid playing a sport. You're like, oh, that kid went to that high school. I played against that high school, or I grew up around there. So the more the merrier. And I think this is like, I want to say like the most we've ever had at one of these events, just because strictly kids can't go on campus. So a lot of them maybe weren't going to do the signing day thing, did it this year. And, you know, shout out to the parents for having to drive there and sit in the car and deal with the whole thing so their kids could have that special day. So it was just an awesome event all around.
Colton, your thoughts on just how deep our county is and what you saw across signing day?
It's honestly just seeing kids from around the county be successful in their respective sport. And it's also super cool that even with COVID and all this, they still have an opportunity like that to get the recognition for signing. It's just a great event overall. And it's just like, it really like makes you take pride in your county and the athletes we have.
I was, I was front and center of kind of making all of this be publicly known that it was going on. So I was sort of seeing the RSVPs as they came in, and I wasn't necessarily shocked by the numbers, but I do think a day like that is really reaffirming for every time we're out here screaming about, like, when we do our segments on What's Good and we talk about soccer or we talk about water polo or we talk about lacrosse or something like that, there was Notre Dame, like, draw a random 5 schools, Colton, that you think are considered like big top tier athletic schools: Notre Dame, USC, North Carolina, all those types of schools, Washington, all represented yesterday in various sports. And I was just like, yeah, this is to me, it's always insane as we welcome into the room Bodie De Silva from Scorebook Live, the official digital content provider of the San Diego CIF section. But I was just, man, I was reaffirmed that, like, yeah, there's a reason why we cover all these other sports, and it's because we end up seeing some crazy matchups of, like, you look out there and it's like, oh, Torrey Pines has 7 lacrosse players going to the ACC, and they're going to take on LCC, who has 3 going to the ACC. It's just insane. As Bodie drops back out of our meeting, thank you very much, Bodie De Silva from Scorebook Live, the official digital content provider of the San Diego CIF section, for that brief appearance. Yeah, hell yeah, Bodie.
Man of words.
Man of few words. I like that. But to me, it was also really interesting seeing 2 things. One, I want you guys to go around the room, take a guess at what university you think had the most commits to it from San Diego.
Oh gosh, I'm kind of playing you, not the question.
I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint. It's in the state of California.
Oh boy. Let's go with UC San Diego.
Colton.
I'd probably go Berkeley, maybe.
UC Davis.
Okay, I can see that. That makes sense.
More kids across like a total number of kids across all sports, more of them committing to go to UC Davis than to any other school on Tuesday at National Letter of Intent signing days across San Diego, not just at the Sports Association event. I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah, it was just real random, but also I thought that it was really interesting getting to see some of these smaller schools, not necessarily numerically wise, but perception wise, like a North Carolina Agricultural A&T University, or some of these smaller schools. As we welcome back to the meeting Bodie De Silva from Scorebook Live, the official digital content provider of the San Diego CIF section. Bodie De Silva, you stick around a little bit longer on this one? Fair enough, Bodie.
There we go.
Hey. Bodie, we're talking about what everyone's takeaway was from signing day. I was saying that we had further affirmation of us always not covering the main sports because it was just so deep from everywhere else. But almost 300 kids across the county. This doesn't include football, so the numbers are bound to go up over 3, maybe even close to 400 kids going on to play college sports next year. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, just the opportunities where it's not, as you said, the main sports that we oftentimes cover, but there's so many different opportunities and so many schools across the country that if you're passionate about that sport, odds are you can find an opportunity to keep playing it. I mean, whether it's I saw baseball in Brawley, and I'm blank, Tennessee Carranza going to Alabama to play baseball. I mean, just so many places just to go if you want to play and are passionate about it. And the numbers, obviously, as you said, I think the Southern section number was barely above that. So great work from this class in San Diego, despite all the odds that have been against them to push with it and find that spot.
Tommy, you saw this, and everyone can go see this if they look at either the San Diego Sports Association's social media or San Diego Prep Insider social media. But Cammy Ham shows up with a Northwestern flag as Tommy forgets to mute his mic as he goes into the gym. But Cammy Ham shows up with deal. Tommy's going to start getting his pump on in a few minutes, folks. But Cammy Ham shows up with a Northwestern flag, and I think that that's the coolest thing that I've seen in a while. I want to see that become more of a part of the signing day celebration. I think everyone should be required to carry their flag around all day, waving it for whatever school they have committed to.
I like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like the move.
Deal.
Well, and also she had like two teammates behind her too. I thought she was gonna like hand the flag off, but I don't know if that's like
that was weird. That was awesome. See, I would assume they all carpooled because there was 3 Northwestern commits for soccer right in a row. There was also I think Bodie. I don't know if you know this for sure, but I think it was 3 sets of twins all committed yesterday or this week.
You know more than me on that. No, I couldn't tell you that.
I got to double check that, but I think it was. I think 3 different sets of twins committed. I don't know if that's a weird, like, I don't know if we just set a section record for that or not, but like that seems like let's go ahead and say we did, because who's going to really check that? Let's transition into a little bit of football talk because right now we are hypothetically 1 month out from the start of training camp, as Tommy really tries to play active defense against the show by continuing not to mute his mic.
I'll mute it. No. There's aerobics class going on.
I love you, Tommy.
That's what I'm there for.
But we're about 1 month out from training camp, so I just want to go around the room and get let's not even call them hot takes, because I don't want to heat anything up. Let's call them really, really lukewarm room temperature takes. Just something about football that you're going to say that, I'll get us started. And I'll say that I'm really interested to see what Byron Cardwell can do running the ball nonstop at Morse. It's interesting. It's not provocative. It's not anything, but it talks about a little bit of football. I want to get just a couple of pointers from everybody about, some lukewarm takes on where your mind is at 1 month out from the football season. Bodie?
Sure. I want to see with Oceanside. We know they won in Division 1 last year, but with them stepping up, it's been a while since they've come into the year as one of these top teams. I think we know they have the talent, but I want to see early on, are they going to step up and kind of match what everyone else may think about and prove early on that they're one of these top teams? I think both sides of the ball, they have these players. So a guy like Kavika Tua, you got a returning quarterback, you got Cam Beecham, all these different players. I want to see Oceanside step up early and prove that they're back as what we knew them, let's say, close to a decade ago.
Tommy. Assuming he's going to figure out.
Hang on, sorry, I'm unmuting on a flyover going on. As of right now, some of these cross-section games are still happening, so I'm excited to see them happen if they do happen. I always like seeing the teams from Orange County and LA come down, so that's what I'm excited for. As of right now, they're still on the schedule, so those would be really, really cool to see happen.
Colton.
I'm most excited. A lower division team, Brawley. Their quarterback last year, I don't know his exact name, but he was a freshman last year, and I played against him personally. And I think after this season, he's going to put himself in the conversation for one of the top athletes in the county.
Can I start the second round of bidding at? I'm really excited for the last game of either the Point Loma Pointers or Christian Patriots season. This was brought to our attention last night by Tommy Morris in our group chat.
I forgot to mention that. I'm an idiot.
Tommy, would you like to? Tommy, it's your point, so you want to go ahead and talk about it?
No, yeah. I mean, so you kind of in a weird round way, Joel and Danny coach with each other, and they're they're best friends, I assume. And kind of out of nowhere, the Point Loma job becomes available, so Joel ends up taking it and already on the schedule last game of the year. So it's almost like their Super Bowl. So it'll be really, really fun to watch. And you want to see this Spider-Man meme pointing at itself. It'll be that game.
Yeah, that's going to be a weird, like one, how it started versus how it's going now type photo. It started with them last year, both being on the Bishop's coaching staffs, and now they're both the head coaches at different schools. I wonder how that works on his coaching tree, if they just have to start a second tree. I'm not going to get lost in there. I'm curious about who's going to be a repeat champion, because I feel like of this batch that we got last year, a couple of different schools did it without entirely losing their whole senior class identity of the team type thing, where you're like, they're going to be a shell of themselves next year, or they're going to need to find another way to get it done. I think that we're going to have, my prediction would be very, very bland. We're going to have one repeat champion at least. Anybody care to jump on one of those teams or no?
Well, were you going to name who that was? I'm trying to think with the divisions of who's moving up, and
I'm not going to say it because this is, something that goes on record a little bit more. But
yeah,
all I'll say is it near and dear to my heart, and is going to struggle to stop Scripps Ranch from scoring only 17 the second time they played them last season. I'm an idiot. I know.
Yeah, no, I think we definitely could.
Honestly, I think it's going to be Oceanside, if anything.
I know what you're hinting at too, and I think it helps when you have your quarterback and your best player returning. So I kind of agree with you on that.
Trying to think who was
between Oceanside and Helix. I mean, those are two teams that I definitely. I mean, for me, they're probably the top two to start the year, but two teams that won championships last year, and I would expect to contend again.
Yeah, Helix is always in it, no matter what. That's the definition of a lukewarm statement right there. That's the most mild room temperature take of all time. Helix is always going to be in it. They're a decently good school. I'm thinking that this will be a year where hopefully I'm hoping for a breakout quarterback, man. Like, we haven't had a signature quarterback in a couple years who can really just like sling it. And I want to see, I'm looking at a couple of different kids across the county. I want to see some numbers really step up, but you got to assume that by the middle of the season, that Mater Dei Catholic offense is going to be moving the ball with some real good efficiency, right? Like, are they going to be the premier offense in San Diego this year?
I don't think that's a crazy statement at all. It's unfortunate. I wish we could see them play against a higher division, because I think they have the talent to do so, and expect them to be one of the non-division teams to open up in the top 10. You bring up quarterback. One I'm looking forward to seeing is Kaya Reed from El Camino. Really stepped at the end of last year. Good experience. And I think El Camino, we've always seen good running game, really good in the trenches. I think if you add a really good quarterback to them, that's a team that can make a huge step.
I think that you hit on maybe something that's a tad bit too hot. Putting a top or a lower division team in the top 10. Always controversial. Always.
Yep.
And yet everyone's like, well, if you're going to put Bishop's 8th, why not put Bishop's 3rd? They're 10-0. And you're like, no, because there is a limit to the rationale that we use here. We're not that idiotic. We're just realists. Man, it's going to be a lot of interesting stuff. Like we said, we're about a month out. We know nothing other than everything that has been publicly stated from CIF, saying that right now, unless they get a directive from the government, otherwise they are proceeding as planned. Schools have become more available to have on-campus activities in the last couple of weeks across San Diego in varying different ways. Even with us moving into purple tier this coming weekend, it seems everything is still decently push on forward as scheduled right now. No contingency plan to start any sort of abbreviated or abridged in the near future until the governor comes out or the state government comes out saying, hey, high school athletics, you cannot do this. So I am banking on right now everything still happening according to plan, and it being something significant would have to happen for this all coming back. Maybe I'm a little worried about indoor sports. I don't think volleyball has the best argument to come back, and that is unfortunate. But as of right now, we're treating it like everything is coming back, and we honestly don't know anything different than any of you guys other than what CIF has kept saying. It's just keep looking for the state for directives. When they say we can, we go. When they say we can't, we don't. That's really all we know. So there's not much, more hypotheticals that I necessarily want to dive into. Maybe we crank it up from like lukewarm to kind of hot next week, and then to fully blown hot takes 2 to 3 weeks from now when we're actually at the start of training camp. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
All righty.
Sounds good.
Folks, thank you very much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. As always, San Diego Prep Insider is trying to do whatever we can to keep you entertained when there's no high school sports for longer than any point in human history before this. Colton Toll, our intern, is back with us. Tommy Morris, you can find him at Real Tommy Morris. Bodie De Silva is at SD Preps. He is here with us on behalf of Scorebook Live, the official digital content provider of the San Diego CIF section. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We will talk to you next week.